What is up, Flavor family? It's Bobby, and today we're gonna roll along with some more meal prepping for weight loss that is monster on flavor. Plus, it's low calorie, plus it's low carb, and did I tell you, we're having noodles, but it's still hella good for you. So I hope you're ready for Asian fish cakes and noodle stir fry. Chopped salmon loaded with green onions, ginger, and garlic, and cooked until golden brown, and served with a shirataki and noodle veggie stir fry. And perhaps the best thing about this recipe is that all the cooking is done in one pan. So if you love healthy, delicious meal prepping that is super creative, subscribe to my channel. I'm rocking out new videos every Friday, and if you click that little bell icon down below, you will get a push notification as soon as my videos go live. This tasty weight loss party all gets started with 2 pounds of salmon in front of me, and I'm using North Atlantic salmon. It's nice and oily and fatty. Wild salmon won't really work for this because it's really meaty. Now, you could use a food processor to blitz this all up, but let's keep this recipe simple and not have to clean up a lot after I'm done. Just use a good old knife and some hard work to chop up this salmon. I'm gonna just about have it here. Break it down into cubes. And then why use one knife when I have 2 knives and I can go all Wolverine on this guy and just go to town. So if you do have a food processor, you can use that too. Just make sure you don't over blitz it and make the mixture too smooth. You can see how much fat is in the salmon. That's really important to keep the fish cakes together later on. The wild salmon is too meaty and it doesn't have enough fat. All right, that looks really good. Now transfer it to a large bowl. All right, now for the seasoning, I want to embrace the theme of less is more, but I really want to use ingredients that drive home those Asian flavors. So first, let's pinch in a good teaspoon of salt, add a few cracks of black pepper. Then I'm going to be grabbing my zester, but there is no lemon or lime in this recipe, I'm sorry, but we are going to zest some garlic and some ginger. So just hold it right over the bowl and grate in 3 cloves of garlic. And because my ginger is young and it has a very thin skin, I actually don't even have to peel it. And go ahead and grate about like 1.5 teaspoons. And then shake in a couple tablespoons of green onions that are finely sliced. Now comes the messy part. You gotta de-bling and then mix this up really well. The fish is so oily that it reminds me that fish is super high in omega-3 fatty acids and it's really high in protein. So this is a great protein for you to eat. Really nice to kind of supplement the chicken or the pork or the turkey that you normally use for meal prepping. All right, I'm gonna stash this mixture in the fridge because I want it to firm up before we cook our salmon patties. But in the meantime, we can get cracking on our noodle and veggie stir fry, and I'm going back to what I'm pretty much calling my BFF now, Shirataki Noodles. Now, a bunch of you asked me the brand that I like because sometimes you buy one that kind of have a weird smell or maybe they don't work out as well. This one is called Ne Soya by Pasta Zero. They always have it at Whole Foods, but they also have it at Walmart. They might not always have it in the store, so order on walmart.com, do the free store pickup, and then get it. That way they'll have it. I feel like this is a tutorial for like walmart.com. Click online, buy, and then go to the store. They do come packed in water. So we have to drain that water because the moisture is the enemy to our stir fry later on. So cut open the packets and pour them into a strainer that's in a bowl. And you can see there's a ton of water that comes out of them, but there's still a ton of water inside of them because water is like the main ingredient. So a few months ago, I figured out a way to evaporate most of that moisture. So I'm gonna grab my burner here, put a large nonstick pan over high heat, and then dump the noodles in there. So the first time I used Shirataki noodles, I didn't do this step. And later on, when I combined it with my sauce or my stir fry, it became soggy AF. So you really have to evaporate almost all the liquid out of the noodles, and this will take a good 5 to 8 minutes. All right, you guys, this took about 10 minutes. And you can see these are done because first I'm gonna spill them out on the board. And then if you look at the bottom of the pan there, it gets kind of dry and cakey, and that tells you that almost all the moisture has evaporated. The noodles can tend to be like a big tangled ball of a yarn. I mean, look at this. They tend to kind of go like that. So I don't want my stir fry later on to be like that. So just take your knife and just rock it through a few times. That'll break up the noodles. So go ahead and get them into a bowl for the time being. And then how cool is this recipe that it uses one pan the entire time? We did our noodles in here, we're gonna do our veggie stir fry, then we're gonna do the salmon patties in there also. So preheat this over medium-high heat, drizzle in a couple teaspoons of grapeseed or veggie oil, and then go in with sugar snap peas, carrots, and red bell peppers. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I like my veggies in a stir fry to still have a little crunch to them because I'm obviously on Team Crunch, so I'm only gonna cook these a few minutes just to get that raw edge away, and then I'll throw the noodles in. All right, let's give this pan one more shake here. And then that's it. I really don't wanna cook the veggies too much further. And then I'm gonna reach for my noodles and dump those in the pan. And now is when things start to get really interesting. The noodles are bland, right? They're a blank canvas for flavor to just infuse into. So let's get them acquainted with the vegetables and then bring over my stir-fry sauce. Do a close.
What you eat there?
Peanut. I snuck one of my peanuts that I'm gonna put in here later on. They always make me choke. I'm like an infant, I don't chew. Now, you could be a lazy butt, and you know I always approve lazy butts and buy stir-fry sauce in the jar at the store. That'll be easier, but I always have these in my pantry. So I'm gonna go in with some sriracha sauce. And then, you guys know I don't really eat soy sauce anymore. Man boobs are not something I wanna achieve in my life. So coconut amino acids are the best soy replacement ever. You can get them at Trader Joe's, Whole Foods. Definitely try it out. It also has less salt than soy. So shake in a couple tablespoons and then add about a teaspoon of toasted sesame oil. And then I need some sour to cut through all that richness in there. So I'm gonna sprinkle in some rice wine vinegar, but you can also use lime juice. Let's do it like they do in the stir-fry places. Shake up everything really well. And now the noodles, you guys, are soaking up all that goodness. This whole pot is basically as low carb, low starch, low calorie as you can get for a stir fry. The Shirataki noodles are the best hack ever for noodles. My favorite part of the video, checking for seasoning. The texture on that noodle is amazing. It does need some more coconut aminos. And then optional, not optional, because we need more crunch up in this house. Throw a couple tablespoons of chopped peanuts in there. Make sure they're unsalted. Of course, if you're allergic to peanuts, then it's obviously optional. And then let's grab some more of these green onions and throw those in. Is that the whitest raise the roof ever? Please remind me never to do that again. The stir-fry noodles are done. I'm gonna evacuate the dance floor here, and we're gonna use the same pan to cook our salmon cakes in. All right. I've got my chilled salmon mixture ready to go. I'm gonna use the same pan, preheating over medium-high heat, drizzle in just like a half a teaspoon of oil. And then I wanna make sure that it has a nice preheat because I want my salmon cakes to get nice and golden brown. And then reach into the mixture here and then just form little patties. And the beauty of this mixture is you don't have to use breadcrumbs or binder because the oil binds everything together for you. So you're actually saving on the carbs or calories by not using breadcrumbs. All right, now place this guy right in the center of the pan and then push down. So the cakes will take about 4 to 5 minutes on each side. Don't want to overcook them. Just get them until they're golden brown and then I'll flip them. And if you guys don't have a non-stick pan, I'll put the link down below for the one I'm using. It's only like 35 bucks. I use it all the time and it really comes in handy. And then once the salmon patties are in, take a fish spatula and just press down. That'll make them a little thinner so they cook evenly. All right, now these cakes only have 1 minute. You don't want to overcook them because they go dry. Now I'm gonna reach for my favorite store-bought ingredient, sweet chili sauce. I love, love, love this stuff. I'm gonna pour a couple teaspoons on top of each cake. And then sprinkle a few sesame seeds on top. All right, these guys are done. Let's get the second batch in here. All right, the last batch is done here. And you guys, I wish you had smell-o-vision because the aromas coming off of this platter are unbelievable. I wanna devour these right here, right now, but first let's plate up our containers and a plate for the week. Gonna grab a big scoop of noodles and put that on the base of my plate. And then top it with a couple of the fish cakes. Then a little garnish of green onions and sesame seeds, and that is done. Now, is it me or is that some sexy AF meal prep or what? Now, here's the thing about salmon. It could only stay in the fridge for 3 days, so I'm gonna freeze 2 of the salmons for the meal preps, and the noodles I can keep in the fridge for 5 days. Less talking, more eating, I'm going in. I also have to try the noodles. And guys, the salmon is out of bounds delicious. The golden brown crust is delivering so much flavor. The fish is so moist, along with those stir-fry noodles and vegetables. so freaking good. The fact that it's low calorie, low carb, low fat is so unbelievable. That's it. You guys have to make this and tag me on social media when you do. The recipe is down below, along with the macros, heating, and storage instructions. Make sure you sub to my channel for new videos every Friday, but I'll see you next Friday like I always do. Until then, hashtag keep on cooking. Peace.